From babies to world champions, we're talking about community that's building more than just athletes today. We're chatting with Jenna Hodsdon, owner of Pack Athletics.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
Hello, this is Kim Russo, your host of the Charleston Women Podcast. Today we're joined by Jenna Hodsdon, owner of Pack Athletics, a dynamic training facility that's redefining what youth athletics can look like. What started as a vision built through resilience and determination has grown into a thriving community serving athletes from just 6 months all the way through young adulthood. From world stage wins to deep local impact, Pack is about so much more than sport. It's about building strong, confident individuals for life. Welcome, Jenna.
Thank you so much for having me.
So excited to hear all about your business and how you got started, especially in the trending world right now of cheer. I know I just watched Stumble all the way through and cheer. So it's really been quite the hype lately. So tell me how you got started with this.
I moved to Charleston in, I believe, 2009. So I've been here for a while. I was never a cheerleader, however. I was a gymnast. Cheer was not really a thing. All-star cheer was not really a thing growing up for me. When I moved from college to Chicago, which is where I was first, I was working at a gymnastics gym. And there was a cheerleading program that was training out of the facility. And it was really my first experience with it. And I just thought it looked like so much fun. I really wanted to learn it. And so when I moved to Charleston after living in Chicago, I decided that I really wanted to coach cheer as opposed to gymnastics because I loved the idea of a team sport for girls. I grew up doing gymnastics, which I absolutely love. I think it's a key, amazing, fundamental sport for females. However, it is very individualistic. And so for me, having an opportunity to do something that was more team goal oriented, I loved that idea. So I went to a couple cheer gyms in the area, didn't really work out. They weren't really hiring. And so I decided to start one of my own. And so I did that, having no idea it was going to turn into what it is. And just did it as a part-time thing. And then I started getting athletes and more athletes. And I wanted to model something after the gym that I grew up in. It was very community-based. I still talk to my coaches to this day. Everybody was a family, and I wanted an environment for the Charleston community that was just similar to that. Mm-hmm. And so I grew it, and now it's become multiple locations, and we have over 500 athletes that travel around the United States with us, and it's just been a really crazy dream that's been not something I ever thought would happen.
What are some of the challenges that you had and your biggest no's when you were starting this kind of without this, immediate idea? How did you get through that?
I was a high-level gymnast. So I was a level 10 gymnast, but I didn't know cheerleading. I had only been around it for about 6 months before I moved to Charleston. So I think the biggest no's was I couldn't get hired anywhere because I didn't have what they expected experience-wise or wanted experience-wise. I could teach tumbling, no problem, but I could not teach the grips and the stunting. So I am not one that really believes in a no. I'm very big on if you want to do it, you can figure it out. So I went to YouTube and I learned, and I'm self-taught, and I watched videos upon videos for hours on end. And then just really taught myself. I found people that I knew were more equipped to train the stunting so that I could focus on the tumbling, learn from them, and then really just decided to go to as many conferences and watch as many videos as possible so I could learn it. So that's kind of how it started. And then as we grew, we got bigger and bigger. We used to be a part of Flip Gym, which was a gymnastics center owned by Hallie McComb, and it was an excellent experience. It was absolutely incredible. We grew really, really large in that facility and ended up having to separate because of it. So then when that happened, I had to learn how to start a business. I had never done that before. I was a marketing person, but I had no idea about accounting and business licenses and the 5 million things that go along with that. So again, self-taught, learned, asked lots of questions, wasn't afraid to to kick down some doors and get the answers I needed.
Yeah.
So ended up building that business. We bought it in 2019 and then COVID hit about 6 months later in 2020. So that was, again, another really hard situation to go through. But I think because of all of those things, it's actually just made me a lot more resilient. It's really helped in training and growing my athletes because I feel like I can give them the confidence to go out and do whatever they want because I've realized it myself.
Which was the first location? I know you have 2 locations right now. So which was the first, and what is some of your goals? Are you going to stay in Charleston or expand beyond Charleston?
Absolutely. So my first location was the West Ashley. We've been here for 14 years now. So West Ashley was where we started, and we ended up having a lot of clientele from Mount Pleasant. And that was my biggest request was everyone was like, come to Mount Pleasant, please, please, please come to Mount Pleasant. We ended up finding a building in Mount Pleasant that was in a great location, and it worked out to where it could be a gym. So we opened that, I believe, about 2 years ago now, and decided to have a second location and see how that went. It has been extremely successful. We've just absolutely loved having another location as a satellite gym to be able to help those athletes and those families over there and not have to deal with the Charleston traffic as bad, because that's gotten really fun. So that's kind of our goal now, is that we keep getting requests to open up in different locations. We have a few that are on the way that we are in different processes for, but we're really excited. We're looking to expand at least 2 more times in Charleston and then potentially outside of Charleston, depending on how everything goes.
In 1996, it was Southern Women to Women magazine. Now it's Charleston Women magazine. Charleston Women is all about strong, capable, confident, hardworking, nurturing, determined, dedicated, and inspiring women. Our readers are business owners, entrepreneurs, mothers, sisters, wives, and grandmothers. Pick up your copy of Charleston Women magazine at Charleston area Harris Teeters and Food Lions. Charleston Women magazine. We are Charleston Women.
You're listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
Well, I know that I recognized the name PAC when we were introduced because my friend Stephanie Barrow's daughter is on your cheer team, and I've seen so many photos and videos, and I just get lost in it, like just watching her. It's just so cool. So for those who only know from any of those cheer videos, what else do you have to offer? Because I know athletes is really what you are doing. So what are some of the other things that you offer besides cheer?
We have cheer at all types of levels. So we do cheerleading teams and classes from the very beginner, if you're, 6 months old, all the way to the very beginner if you're a senior in high school. So we have lots of different classes, lots of different teams for any level. And then we have teams that travel locally, and then teams that travel within pretty much South and North Carolina. And then we have teams that travel regionally and nationally as well. So pretty much whatever you would like, if you want competitive cheer, we offer it. On top of that, we also have now grown our programs to offer not only cheerleading, but also tumbling. We also offer ninja for girls and boys who are interested in learning how to flip and fall and be safe while doing it. We offer high school cheerleading and high school tumbling classes, choreography, and then we have a really large summer camp program. So our summer camps are very theme-based and they are extremely involved. We don't do necessarily cheerleading in the summer camps at all. It's more of a fun camp. And we have athletes and kids from all over the community that come to the summer camps every single year. We have themes. We have field day trips where they go out into the community and they do something else that's theme related that year. And then a lot of times we have different trips that come in too. So like we have Crosswind Farms that comes and brings all of the animals to the kids. And then they might go to Bee City Zoo as well that week. So they get a lot of, different animal experiences. And then we have another theme that's like a superheroes and Disney princess theme. So then we have Spider-Man and Elsa come and they end up playing with the kids and having a whole day with that. And then we might go and do a whole ninja course at the Mount Pleasant Park and set it up as superheroes. So we do
like Ninja Warrior, like for kids.
Yeah, exactly. So we do a lot of different things that make it really fun. And then we do the same thing with birthday parties as well. So we offer a lot of birthday parties and do that too. So we're really trying to make it more of an athletic community and something where parents feel like they've got a safe place where their kids can go, whether their kids are boys, girls, 6 months to 12th grade.
So your athletes, I know, are gaining some recognition. You were recently won the Worlds. So what was that moment like for you and for the kids too? What was it like for them?
That was a dream. I mean, we started our World program. At that point, that was our second season. We are going up against programs that have had that level of cheerleading for years. I mean, tens of years. So it was definitely something that was unexpected. My athletes are very strong in terms of their skills. But we know with experience comes, that type of win. So we knew that we were young to the game and we were just really, really proud of ourselves for being able to compete. And when we went to Worlds, that set of athletes, like I said, it was their second year in. We weren't necessarily going in any expectation to win at all. We were hoping maybe we might get top 3, which you call globing. And we were really excited to just go out there and do a really big hit routine. And on day 2, when we went in, they had just an incredible showing. And we were super, super excited. We were so proud of them. No matter what the placement was, we were just so proud that they actually got to leave on a good note, that they got to do what they were hoping to do with all of the training that goes up to it. Sometimes you don't get that result. So that was all we were really excited for. And then when we got called to win, I think we were all in shock. I still am a little shocked by it. And for the kids, I mean, what a dream. We had a couple seniors who had actually stayed after they graduated to super senior that year just because they wanted one more year of experience. And that was just really neat to be able to see that just come to life for them. And I mean, that's the ultimate goal. You work so hard. Everybody across the country is working hard. I think we competed against 40 other teams, and it was just really neat for them.
What kind of training does it take for them to actually get to that level?
It's different for everybody because some athletes train their whole lives and it's just maybe they're never on a Worlds team. And that's okay too. We really try hard not to focus on only the level is what matters. I'm a big proponent of that. I have a lot of athletes that I'm friends with that never made it to level 10 in gymnastics, and they still went on and competed in college. So I don't necessarily think the level is all that matters. However, the dedication and the mental toughness that comes with being on a team like that is really important. And we have a lot of gymnasts that come over and have the tumbling, but don't necessarily have the stunting, but they end up going on a team. So even if they haven't been cheering for that long, they've had the experience of being able to be on a Worlds team because of their talent in one area. And then we have athletes that have been in our program for years that have now finally made it to that Worlds program and that World stage. And they have maybe really great stunting ability, or they're incredible at performing and they can jump and they can do a little bit of tumbling and a little bit of stunting. But that combination of all of those athletes coming together is what really matters. The great thing about cheer, and it's different depending on program, but there's a lot of sports where you have to practice a lot to get to that top level. Cheer is a little different. And that's kind of why I love the sport so much. So we practice 3 days a week for 2 hours a day, a 6-hour week to be at the highest part of your level. I think that's pretty great. As a gymnast, I was in the gym 20 to 25 hours a week. I mean, it was non-negotiable.
Yeah, I was a swimmer and I was every day for 2 hours.
Exactly. Now, I mean, I wish I could have my kids that long. That'd be amazing. But I think that's why a lot of athletes end up loving cheer, and a lot of parents too, because you can practice 2 to 3 days a week, still be competitive, still go to competitions across, the United States and have a really good experience in a travel sport and not necessarily make it the only thing of your life.
Right. Well, I'm sure that you build community and there's like some best friends too, I'm sure, by doing this together. Now, you also do a lot of community outreach with them. So what does that look like?
I'm really passionate about giving back. We do a mentorship program here as well. And we try really hard for our athletes to understand the importance of building a community around you and how incredible it is to be able to have that to lean on. I'm like I said, I'm a really passionate about making sure that we are using our talents for good. And we have a large staff here. We have a lot of athletes here. So to be able to, do a homeless shelter drive, to be able to do a battered woman's drive, we do soup kitchens, and we do all of the different things that our biggest that we probably do at this point now is in every Christmas, we do a foster kids family. So we adopt 30 to 40 foster kid families and we provide their entire Christmas for them. And that's just something that we're really passionate about and we've just been really involved in. And I think it's awesome to get the kids to understand what it's like for others that maybe don't have the same privileges that they do, and to understand what it can be like to give back and to spend your time and your efforts doing that and how rewarding that can be. And I think if we can start that young, it can just make the communities better and better and better. And I'm really passionate about making Charleston just the best community it can be. And I want to do my part to help that.
It really teaches them how to do this moving forward too and give back. So one of the things too that I love that you do is once your girls kind of age out, you bring them back.
Well, so we've graduated a lot now, and I'm really involved in their journeys. A lot of our athletes go on to cheer in college and a lot don't. So we kind of have both. However, I think for a lot of our athletes, this community is home for them. They feel like this is their home away from home. They feel comfortable. They feel like they grew up here. And we have a lot of our kids that have come out of college now and they're looking for jobs, or they're looking for internships. And I connect them to as many people as I can to try and get them a leg up and to help them on their way. And now we have grown so much that we can start bringing them into our community. So we have a few athletes that have now graduated out of our program that now work full time for us. We have about 20 full-time here in terms of staff, and half of those are athletes or parents that have been in the program, which has been such a blessing and an honor. And I love it because they understand what the program meant to them and they have that dedication to it. So we have some athletes that have, looked for college internships, or we've got one that was really looking for a marketing leg up to understand marketing and really wanted to get involved with that. And that was something that I did. So I've kind of brought her in. She's a marketing intern for us now, and she works alongside our marketing department and has really helped her understand exactly what she wants to do and what she really likes. We also have, different departments with travel and an operations department and an apparel department. And we also have obviously all of the coaching. So we have all those different things that kids can come back and they can actually realize that they can have a job doing the thing that they loved that they thought might just be a hobby. But it's not anymore because we're a business that can give them a full-time job with benefits. And it's just been a blessing.
I know that if I was a kid there that was starting out, and having somebody that has been through it as a mentor is probably making it extra special too as well.
It really is. And they can look up to them. So we have a lot of our kids that remembered them as athletes. And so now they get to be coached by them and they trust them. They understand that they've been there. So it's been really great. I'm getting old too. So it's nice because we've got some of our youngers coming in and they can relate really well in a way that I can't. And it's just giving us a lot more depth, which is great.
Well, it's really impressive what you've built. What would you say is the hardest thing just about being an entrepreneur and, opening also during COVID, I'm sure was pretty hard, but what's something that you could give as advice to somebody that wants to kind of follow in the footsteps of you?
I never set out to be an entrepreneur. I did not realize that this is what was going to happen. So I didn't have that entrepreneur spirit where I was going to own my own business. That was never me. I think what I've realized is I work 3 times as much owned my own than I ever did before. And that's just something that I've learned as I've gone, that I definitely give advice to kids that I'm coming through to let them know, if you want to own your own, it's the most rewarding that you'll ever have, but it's also the most work you'll ever do because now I'm responsible for other people. I'm responsible to make sure that they're taken care of and that they have a really great life. And I take that very seriously. My husband has now quit his job to come on with me full time to really try and build this now that we've expanded. He was a project manager, so it was a lot easier for him to take over the buildings and the expansion. So it's been really amazing being able to work with him, but we've had to push back kind of starting our family because when we bought the gym. And then when we went through COVID, it was a super stressful time and we had just gotten married. So it was something that was not necessarily a plan, but it all worked out. And I think that's the biggest thing, that if you want to build something of your own, if you want to start something, if you believe in yourself enough and you don't give up, it's going to work out for you. You just have to kind of keep digging and you have to make sure that you put in the time and the effort. But if you do that, amazing things can happen. And I'm definitely a testament to it, because I had no idea how to start a business and I didn't even know cheerleading, but I was really passionate about building a community here and ended up doing that.
Well, it sounds like you have a family of over 500. So.
Yes, got lots of kids.
Yeah. So where can people find you and how do they sign up for the camp and all your different types of programs?
Absolutely. So we have a website. It's allaboutthepack.com. So if you go on there, it's pretty easy to navigate. You can look at camps, you can look at birthdays, you can look at what we offer and classes. So if you go on there, you can do that. You're also more than welcome to always stop by our locations. We're in West Ashley and we're also in Mount Pleasant. So you can stop by, talk to the front desk and just see what we offer and the different types of communities that we have and the different times and days that are available for you. And I'm sure you'll find something that will fit with your schedule.
Jenna, thank you so much for joining us on the Charleston Women Podcast and teaching us all about PAC athletics.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
I'm Kim Russo, host of the Charleston Women Podcast, and I will see you next time.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.